Hello and welcome everyone. Thanks for taking a look at this Rolls-Royce Ghost with me today. My name is Nathan. I'm proud to present and show you this car and have it on my channel. Thanks for taking a look. Please leave any comments or suggestions that you would like or ask any questions. If you're interested in the car, my phone number is in the description down below the video. Please get a hold of me. You can call or text anytime. I am excited and amazed by this car. I haven't spent quite this much time with one until working with this car to bring it here to you to market and market this car. Amazing engineering, amazing quality, a gorgeous car. We're gonna walk around here, we're gonna talk about it, we're gonna talk about what makes this a little bit different than the norm. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, please leave your comments. So this is a 2011 Rolls-Royce Ghost. This car is diamond black metallic. I've been waiting for a nice sunny day to showcase this car. Right there on the shoulder of the front fender, you can see the gorgeous metal flake in the paint. This car is beautiful in the sun, sparkles like a diamond. Very similar to BMW black sapphire metallic paint. This car has three things. There's a lot of things I want to show and tell about this car, but this car has three things that make it very special and very unique than the norm. If you know these cars or you've been looking for one, you may instantly notice that although it's a 2011, it has had these plastic pieces added here still to incorporate the washer for the headlight, and this makes it appear like it's a Series 2 Rolls-Royce Ghost. So this is the factory headlight for this car. You can see the RR logo in the lens. This is a square headlight underneath the plastic cover-up piece, but the Series 2s had these pieces to give it this more tapered look, and the owner of this car has added those to make it appear more like a Series 2. So it is majestic and beautiful in the front. An absolutely remarkable car with a huge grille. Not quite as large as its big brother, the Phantom, but this is a driver's car, and that's what Rolls-Royce has marketed it to be, is a more manageable size and not so ostentatious as the Phantom. The front, the hood, the prow is still exceptionally long. It's a big car. 18 and a half, I believe. I have some specifications here. Feet long. Car stands 51 inches tall, and it weighs a whopping 5,500 pounds. I will be making a separate video of me driving this car. You can take a look at that on my channel. It should be right next to this one. I mean, here I stand with this camera basically looking down from my eyes at the roof, and I'm 6'1" tall, and this car almost feels as tall as I am. This car has the panoramic sunroof option, so that's a bit of a rarity, but I wanted to give a quick walk around and then show the real rarity on this car. So number one is the headlight pieces that make it appear more like the Series 2. Number two is going to blow your mind, perhaps. This is the most spectacular feature of this car. So I have the key right here on my clipboard, and the car is currently locked. I'm going to unlock the car, and I'm going to unveil something to you that you may have never ever seen before, because there's not another one like it. Are you ready? On the count of three. 1, 2, and 3. Hello, Spirit of Ecstasy. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. You won't see another one like this. Look at the way the sun catches the lights of the diamonds. Look at the twinkle on the billows of cloth in her wings. She is majestic, she is remarkable, and she is beautiful. Folks, that is a Swarovski crystal coated Spirit of Ecstasy on the front of this Rolls-Royce, on the prow of this Rolls-Royce. Unbelievable. Gorgeous as she is. I have a fascination with this hood ornament, and I do want to talk more about it throughout the course of this video, but look at the detail work. So the entire emblem and the plate was removed and sent to an artist who agreed to do this work and commission this. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. And and it took a while and a lot of dollars, and this is the finished result. She is absolutely gorgeous and stunning, and you can see just about every inch of it when you're driving the car. It is absolutely one of a kind and absolutely just remarkable, gorgeous. I mean, it just completes the look of the front of an already menacing car. Beautiful. So that is number one, or the lights was number one. This is number two, and number three, I'm gonna show you this before we get really into it. We'll take a look at the interior. I'm gonna start the car now. We'll take a look at the inside briefly, and then we'll dive in a little deeper. But number three on this car is that in a Rolls-Royce Ghost in this year, Rolls-Royce did not offer the Starlight headliner. However, you can see the black material because the car is off, and the panoramic sunroof. I'm going to start the car now. It's 1,000,000 degrees today, so it'd be nice to have some air conditioning. And with the car on, feature number three that makes this more unique than the rest. It's really bright today, obviously, but you can see it has the Starlight headliner. It is absolutely, again, just magical, and what you can only dream of when you're in here at night. It goes all the way along the sides, up in the front, behind the visors. So this brings me to my next point about this car, is the original owner of this car was a Mike Piazza of the Los Angeles Dodgers. It is reported and said to be that this car was his car new. He was a catcher with the Los Angeles Dodgers, and I'm assuming that it was he who had the Starlight headliner installed. Now, typically, when they don't have a sunroof, it takes like between 9 and 15 hours, I believe I read, for a couple of craftsmen to install the Starlight headliner. But on this car, it was obviously done after the fact at Rolls-Royce, but I wouldn't be surprised if it still took just about as long and just as much time. Beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful at night. It illuminates the back seat. It creates almost like a moonlight effect on the back seat where you feel like you're under the stars or under the moon. It's absolutely terrific. As you can see, the picnic tables, tray tables, and the rear entertainment system this car has, which brings me to this. The original window sticker information here, 2011 Rolls-Royce Ghost, diamond black metallic with black and cream interior. So the car has a $250,000 base price, or $246,000. Driver Assistance Systems 3, a $10,000 option with all the safety stuff. The 20-inch chrome wheels, $7,000 for these. Probably one of my favorite features. I want to pause here a moment to honor someone who isn't with me any longer. I had the pleasure of driving a Rolls-Royce Phantom in 2006 when my wife's dentist brought his by for me to see that he had purchased brand new, and he was so proud to show it off, and such a wonderful man that I'm just going to take a moment here to talk about him. Dr. David Bedore. It was an absolutely wonderful man that was so down to earth that you would have never known had the kind of home and cars and money that he did. He actually cut his own grass, just like that guy right there going by on the mower. Man cut his own grass at his 15,000 square foot mansion, but nonetheless, such a down-to-earth guy that unfortunately had a heart attack and passed away a couple of years ago at a young age of 53. But a man I'll never forget who introduced me to and handed me the keys to his 2006 Rolls-Royce Phantom when he brought it by our home for me to see. And he showed me about the Spirit of Ecstasy going up and down on the hood, and he showed me about the center caps on these wheels, that the RR, the double R logo stays upright, which if you're looking at this car, you probably know, but it is absolutely the way it should be. The wheel turns around the center cap. So no matter what position this car is in, these caps will always be upright. And it just It's just the way it should be. When you're a car enthusiast and a car person, it definitely is the way it should be. Every car should do that. Nobody wants to look at a Ford emblem upside down, or a BMW logo with the BMW on the wrong side up. 20-inch chrome wheels, body colored wheel centers, which we just looked at. The the glass panoramic sunroof, $7,000. Adaptive headlights, which are pretty awesome, $1,100. The rear theater, massaging seats, ventilated seats, comfort access or comfort entry system, the stainless steel tread plates or sill plates, and the picnic tables for a whopping $290,650, almost $300,000 new. If you care to see it, turn a page here. This is the options more exploded. So the driver's assistance system 1 includes the lane departure, automatic headlights, which is really nice. I've driven this car at night. That's very nice. The heads-up display. The system 3 has the night vision, active cruise, the adaptive cruise control for $10,000. The wheels, the body colored centers, rear theater configuration, including the displays, glove box mounted 6-disc CD changer, $6,500 for that. The massaging seats, so there you go. While we're here, I'll go ahead and show this 2011 Rolls-Royce Ghost. 4 owners. This car has always lived in California. It has a clean Carfax report. It's always lived in California. Apparently was most likely sold new by this O'Gara coach company in Beverly Hills. It's been in Beverly Hills and San Juan, however you say that, Capistrano, Irvine, California, Rolls-Royce Motor Cars, and then still California right here. And then looks like, so it was October of 21 when the current owner brought the car to Columbus, Ohio. So it's only been in Ohio for about 7 months. So there is that. The adaptive cruise, I meant to point out up here when I was oodling and eyeing over the Spirit of Ecstasy. The eye for that is tucked away right here in the grill, which is pretty nice. Pretty nice feature for 2011 as well. The car is as clean and straight as far as no damage, no body work, no paint work, no door dings as it can be. Trunk is large and clean overall. A couple little stains on the carpet in here from different things. All the tools and things are here. The triangle. I think from memory, 14 cubic feet is the size of this trunk, so it's definitely plenty sizable. There's that. Power closing, of course. It power opens and it stops like a third of the way up. Rolls-Royce plate frame with caps. Look at that metallic paint in the sun. Also, I didn't say this in the beginning, but the windows are lightly tinted, as you probably saw or noticed, which certainly gives it a nice look. Gonna go ahead and show you under the hood real quick before the engine gets too hot from running. Already pretty hot. Air conditioning works fantastic in this car. We're gonna drive it, like I said. I'll make a separate video of me driving the car and showing how well it performs. It's as smooth and silky as it should be, and as you would expect for such a fine motor car. We will drive it both on some city streets and on the motorway, as they say. I usually say freeway, but I must say motorway when I'm talking about a Rolls-Royce, right? 12-cylinder, 6.6 liter, stroke to 6.6 liters. It's 563 horsepower. 563 horsepower. One article I read about these cars said that Rolls-Royce used to, in the old days, you know, when they weren't quite as what they are now, used to just say that the horsepower the cars had was sufficient. But the article said Rolls-Royce is more than happy to brag about this having 563 horsepower And for this car weighing 5,500 pounds, which is almost what, nearly 3 tons, it feels like you're driving a bank vault down the highway. But this car will get you up and go from 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds. That's impressive, I say, for obviously its large size and its incredible weight. You can hear the fans excessively running. That's all the water from the air conditioning because it is so hot today. So it was just serviced at Evans Automotive here in Columbus. Evans Automotive is a very well-known and very well-respected shop that's been around since the 70s. They do beautiful work on European cars and all cars, but particularly European cars, lots of Ferraris and Lamborghinis and cars of the like. So working on this Rolls-Royce was no big deal for them. They're a great group of folks. I would highly recommend if you have anything European and you live in the Columbus, Ohio area or nearby, go check them out. They are a great shop and great people. George is one of the nicest down-to-earth guys you may have ever met. So, a regal, stately, large, ominous sedan. You know, this car, they tout in the articles and everything they say about it that this car is supposed to be more drivable, and it is. It's very easy to drive once you get familiar with its proportions and dimensions. It is a very easy car to drive. These are the corner view cameras, which I'll show you here when we go on the inside in a moment. It's very easy to drive, but it is nonetheless, it's still a large car. It is big, it is big, it is bold, it's big. And of course, everywhere you go, everybody looks. Because it's different, because it's not the norm. So here we are at night with the Rolls-Royce Ghost. And why are we here at night? With this beautiful fountain in the background. We're going to check it out. Are you ready? Take a look at her glorious Spirit of Ecstasy in the evening. She even sparkles in the evening light. She's so beautiful. So, I thought it fitting, if you've been watching this video all the way through, to check out the Starlight headliner in the evening time. Are you ready? It's magical. And it's absolutely spellbinding. I'm not shutting the door all the way because I don't want the interior light to come on. This is a Rolls-Royce exclusive feature on these cars. It is handcrafted and it takes almost a full day's work for a technician to place these in the leather roof lining in the motor car. Absolutely, this camera doesn't even do it justice, but it's like sitting here. Let me turn these off. It's like sitting here under the stars. I love jazz music, so I have the jazz music on. It is just fabulous. It's more impressive in person, but there are nearly 1,000 individual fiber optic lights and strands placed in this headliner, and they put them at different depths and angles so that it catches and radiates the light in multiple different directions. It's one of the neatest things ever. Let me get into the front so you can see it from the front to the rear. I mean, with the door closed, it truly illuminates and creates a shadow of light on the back seat. It's wonderful. There's more back there, of course, because this car has a panoramic sunroof right here in the center. And really, if you open that and get some fresh air and experience your Starlight headliner at night while your driver drives you, it doesn't get much better. So I wanted to make this because I wanted you to see the majesty and the unbelievable brilliance that it adds to a vehicle. Only in these cars, folks. Only in these cars. Thanks for continuing to watch. Go ahead and take a walk around this in the eve. Yeah, it's awfully dark, but just quite the feature to unveil when you open the door for someone. Even when you open the door and the light comes on, it's still obviously extremely welcoming, but then you can look up and you can still see it, even with the interior lights on. So thanks for continuing to watch. ...2011 Ghost. Looks like a ghost. And of course, everywhere you go, everybody looks. Because it's different. Because it's not the norm. So let's jump inside and take a look over the interior. And then I wanted to also on this video, since I honestly did a lot of research about the Spirit of Ecstasy, because I knew some stuff, but I didn't know everything. So I educated myself, and I wouldn't mind to share it with you on this video. Memory seats, of course, massaging seat on both front seats, beautiful window controls, beautiful switches. The burl wood is second to none. You know, you can kind of say, oh, you know, it's just an expensive car, but when you really spend the time with this car and you touch and feel the surfaces and you drive it and you really get to understand it, you realize, if you're a car person, look at these stainless steel sill plates. I mean, they're real solid stainless steel. You know, you really start to realize just how quality this car really is, and of course the driving is second to none. This is a nice set of Lloyd mats. So these aren't the original mats, but these are nice thick pile mats that have been put in here at some point, fitted to the car. I kind of like the black because it contrasts the tan, doesn't show the dirt, and kind of resembles the older Rolls-Royce lamb's wool foot mats that you could get that costed a lot of money too. Shut the back door. It does have soft closed doors. So over here on the left, the night vision, the heads-up display, lane keeping assist, and then the frontal crash warning. So it has all of that safety stuff in the in that driver assistance package. This is a steering wheel cover that's been placed on the steering wheel. Makes it a little bit thicker, but the steering wheel, the factory steering wheel and leather underneath is perfectly fine and nice. This was just added because it was a nice complement to the interior and gives it a little more girth. So steering wheel is beautiful. Steering wheel controls. 43,489 is our exact mileage at the moment. We'll drive it and you can watch all these gauges operate. Leather covered dash. There's our heads-up display. Not sure with how bright it is if you can see that there, but you can see the orange flickering. So it shows the miles per hour digitally, and then it shows the lane monitoring. Look how gorgeous that Spirit of Ecstasy is sitting out on the prow. She's so beautiful. She's so beautiful. It's just such a recognizable marque. I guess that's probably why I did start to think about and wonder why they don't put the name Ghost anywhere on the car except over here on the clock. But, you know, it's kind of a mystery. But compartment here, there's a big ashtray in here if you smoke, which I wouldn't recommend. The iDrive controller, or whatever Rolls-Royce calls it, is very easy to get it along with if you've operated or owned a BMW before. This is for the active air suspension, which this car does really well. Has minimal body roll at higher speed. You can adjust it up and down. Heated and cooled seats in the front. I'm gonna turn on the cooled seat. Love the climate controls in this car. Very easy just to graze over and pick the temperature you want. The fan knobs, very easy. Everything's very easy. It looks gorgeous, but it's very user-friendly. I love these push-pull knobs on here with this beautiful real stainless air vents and things. Push-button start. You know, you push and pull here for your direction of airflow or how much air you want. The clock is simple but beautiful with the double R logo and the Ghost word. Screen, everything you would expect, of course, but navigation. Here's our backup camera, and then you can push the camera icon here to see your corner view camera, which is the two looking out the corners like I showed you outside the car. I've got satellite radio on right now. It has Bluetooth audio as well, of course, Bluetooth phone, all of that fun stuff. Back to our main menu, of course. In the spirit of Ecstasy and in the spirit of Dr. David Bedore, the wonderful man that first introduced me to these cars. If you go to Spirit of Ecstasy in your settings menu, you can tell her to be automatic so that she goes down when you lock the car and raises when you unlock the car. And then right here, you can tell her to go bye-bye. And then you can, it makes me laugh every time. And then you click on raise and here she comes out of the hood. Oh, look at the way the light caught her left billow. Remarkable. So she really is the beauty. It's kind of bright right now, but you can probably see this image of her here. She's the beauty of these cars and adorns the prow of every single one. Beautiful, beautiful chrome up here. Hard panel shade for the panoramic sunroof, so if you don't want the sun coming in, this really does make it a bit darker inside the car. You can really see that Starlight headliner now. It's a little bit darker. Just a beautiful, beautiful car. Going to go to my next notes page that I wanted to talk about here. Let's go to the back. Sorry for the bad camera work. I am still an amateur-ish guy, but I like doing it. So I'm gonna move this seat up so you can see the screen. When you enter the rear seat of this car, oh, I forgot to point out, car does have both umbrellas here in the doors, right here, with the RR logo. They're both in both front doors. A lot of times those can be missing, but this car does have both. When you enter this rear seat, you just feel like you've come into a world-class jet or a super nice train car. It is just a different experience being in this car, in the front or the back. I mean, obviously it'd be nice to be driven every day, but not everybody can be. Simple controls back here, heated seats. The power button down here turns these screens on or off. Very easy to use back here. It's the same as up front, essentially. Got the picnic tables with the extendable bar for your laptop or whatever you might have. The screens do tilt somewhat, a little bit, to reduce glare. The rear door, if you don't want to, exert any manual effort. Also, vanity mirror right here. Hello, that's me. A little vanity mirror over your shoulder because there's not one up here in the headliner. Right here, there's a door button. Push and hold for a split second, and as it starts to travel, you can let go, and the door closes on its own, and then you really feel like you are in heaven. Pull your lever here for additional airflow. It's a mystical experience to be in the rear of this car. This, of course, does go up to go away completely. You can pick here left or right, and then control it as such with your controller. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I'm going to just read this to you, or you can read along, because I can't remember all of this, so I want to just talk about it for a minute. The Whisper was the precursor to the Spirit of Ecstasy. The first Rolls-Royce motor cars did not feature radiator mascots. They simply carried the emblem. When John, second Baron I can't even say it right, but whatever, Montague, commissioned his friend sculptor Charles Robinson Sykes, who worked in London under his patronage, to sculpt a personal mascot for the bonnet of his 1909 Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost, Sykes chose Eleanor Velasco Thornton as his model. Sykes originally crafted a figurine of her in fluttering robes, having placed one forefinger against her lips to symbolize the secret love affair between Thornton and Montague. The figurine was constantly named the Whisperer and is on display in a museum, they say, where there were only a few left. So it's on display in this National Motor Museum in Beaulieu, along with the other Spirit of Ecstasy figurines. Only 3 or 4 were ever made, and only 2 are believed to have survived. So there she is, posing next to his Silver Ghost in 1911. This is, I find history about things fascinating. I mean, look at the woman. She doesn't look incredibly flattering, but nonetheless, there she is, and there it is on the ornament. And, that's over 100 years ago. But the times, it's not that long ago, but the time was, very different than now. So on the bonnet is seen the Spirit of Ecstasy. The Spirit of Ecstasy, also called Eleanor or the Silver Lady or the Flying Lady, I've heard all these things over time, but I never had known the truth, was designed by him, a graduate of London's Royal College of Art, carries with it a story about the secret passion between Montague and of this town, Beaulieu, after 1905, a pioneer of the automobile movement and the editor of Car Illustrated magazine from 1902. The model for the emblem was the lady. She was the secretary who fell in love with her, blah, blah, blah. You can read this yourself. The reason this is interesting, though. The reason for the secrecy was Eleanor's impoverished social and economic status. So, she wasn't apparently good enough to be public about, which is kind of sad. But obstacle of their love, on the other hand, he had been married to this other woman since 1889. You can see the difference on this old image here of how she was sort of forward posed, and it's not as profound as that now. Side view on a 1972 Silver Shadow. I remember this. There was a man in the town I grew up in Toledo, also a doctor, who drove these Rolls-Royce cars, and most of his were 70s and 80s, and I remember seeing these on the hood of his cars on the prow when I was a kid. But anyway, this is interesting. By 1910, personal mascots had become the fashion of the day. So apparently, everybody wanted to have one. Rolls-Royce was concerned to note that some owners were putting inappropriate, I can only imagine, statue of David or something, ornaments to their cars. Claude Johnson, the director of Rolls-Royce Motor Cars, was asked to commission a more dignified and graceful mascot. So, of course, he turned to the same man, Mr. Sykes, to produce a mascot that would adorn all future Rolls-Royce cars and become generic to the marque, with the specifications that it should convey, I like this, the spirit of the Rolls-Royce, namely, with speed with silence, absence of vibration, the mysterious harnessing of great energy, and a beautiful living organism of superb grace. that right there, I see I can't remember all this. I'm smart. I'm just not that smart. But that right there is what these cars are. When you drive it, this is what you feel, but this is the truth on paper. It was again that they chose her, or Sykes, Miss Thornton, whom he had in mind. He chose to modify the Whisper into a version similar to today's Spirit of Ecstasy. He called the first model the Spirit of Speed, later called it a graceful little goddess. The Spirit of Ecstasy, who has selected road travel as her supreme delight and aligned on the prow of a Rolls-Royce motor car to reveal the freshness of the air and the musical sound of her fluttering draperies. So it's interesting because that is apparently how he sculpted the original one. It was like fluttering ropes of cloth through her arms. Devised the description of the Spirit of Ecstasy, how Sykes sought to convey the image of the Spirit of Ecstasy, who has selected road travel, blah, blah, blah. Same she is expressing her keen enjoyment with her arms outstretched and her sight fixed upon the distance. So, just interesting. I just find that I find the history fascinating. Hopefully you did as well. Let's continue with looking at this car. But I wanted to share that, and I knew I couldn't remember all of those details in my little brain. But it's just interesting, and it's interesting to know the history. Watch the soft closed door. There it is. It's interesting to know the history. And now, you know, every time I see a Spirit of Ecstasy on the bonnet or the prow of a Rolls-Royce motor car, I will then think of Miss Thornton and how she was the model for, but yet couldn't even publicize her love affair. Looks like a fancy jet with the tray tables and the screens back here, right? Just as beautiful on this side as the other side, of course. The back seats truly, I don't think, have seen much use. They are exceptional. The leather dash is beautiful. It's hot because it's hot today. But it is beautiful. The owner's manuals are here in the glove box as well. Massage and memory seat, just like the driver's side right here. There's the other umbrella, the door. The doors are so large and grand, and I did also read, which you may know if you're looking at or considering this car, how the base pan or the base floor tray of this car, I guess, was started out as a 7 Series BMW. We all know that a lot of the electronics are BMW derived, or sourced from BMW, but they'd said that only 20% of BMW parts are on this car. But in the articles I read, they said that the 7 Series platform or pan had to be severely modified because of the coach doors and because of safety and side crash tests, and because of obviously putting the pillar thicker and larger here in the center. So let's see. Wow, 33 minutes. Sorry to talk so much. There's a lot to say about a really nice car like this, right? I think I've talked about everything I wanted to point out. Take a few more laps around. I apologize for the lawnmower that's been in the background throughout some of this video. I didn't know today was their day to mow, but nonetheless, just a beautiful and majestic car, and it goes without saying that obviously it is darn near like new, and to be able to purchase it at half the price of what it costs new, I'd say that's a pretty good value. And if you buy this car, you'll be the only one to have the Spirit of Ecstasy in all of her delight, with all of her Swarovski crystals and you definitely wouldn't want to leave her upright when the car is unattended. But see the side view now that you saw the image on that paper? It's a different pose than the old one. Similar. She's peering ahead at the majestic motorway. It's almost a shame that she may have to eat a bug or two, you know? But it's hard to see the daytime LED lights because it's so bright, but you can see here the LED strip. Love the shoulder here. I think the lines of this car are beautiful, and still a nice rake to the back. So thanks for watching. Thanks for any comments or suggestions. Again, I'm not a professional, so don't critique me too much. I just enjoy what I do. Leave any comments or suggestions that you like. Subscribe to my channel if you like. This is the first Rolls-Royce I've ever done. Matter of fact, I've never done a video in all of my career of car stuff or places I have been associated with to do a Rolls-Royce. So this was a first for me. I hope you enjoyed. I love the car. I do love to drive it, but obviously every mile matters on this car. So we will take it for a drive here. Come along with me. Next video up on the channel should be right next to this of me driving this car, and it's nothing short of amazing. I promise you that. And come check it out. One of a kind. One of a kind. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.